what is motivating this guy? And I want to get into that a little bit because I think it's part of the reason that the film works so well is that there's this thing called a fair world or a fair life fallacy, that life is in some way fair. And when you were approaching playing Marty, knowing what the trajectory was there a mindset you were thinking like, this is what is driving him from moment to moment to moment?
Man, I love that question because if you grew up in New York, I'm sure people here grew up in New York as well. Yeah, from right away.
We have one East Coaster here.
Come on.
By the way, I don't think it's a New York thing. I think it's a Philadelphia thing. I think it's a Boston thing. Yeah, like if you grow up in that pressurized setting, you know, I grew up in a building called Manhattan Plaza. Once more, I'm sure people here have either lived there or know people that have lived there. That it just makes you dream and dream big and light. And I haven't heard that fair life fallacy, but I think I realized it very early on. I had a childhood and upbringing where I could have a sleepover with a friend where I visit their living condition and realize, okay, I'm in a better living condition, and I'll go somewhere else and okay, this person's in a way nicer living condition than I have. And but it really made me dream big, and that's what was so inspiring with this movie. Is I feel as I've gotten older and talked to my little cousins or whatever, I feel like when I was in high school, dreaming big that's what I consumed. It's the Nike commercials I consumed. It was the Kobe Bryant commercials I consumed. The Michael Jordan documentaries. And then I feel like maybe it was post-COVID or something. I don't know. Like as the world has become evidently harsher. I think the world's always been harsh, but now social media is evidently harsh. And I feel with young people there isn't that. And I want to, I think trying hard is awesome, and I think Marty Mauser is an embodiment of that. He's a try-hard, but when you're in a setting like he is, where I feel like I was in early in my acting career, you have to be the stalwart. If you're not rolling 13 deep backstage, you're one deep. You're your only support system. And I hope I didn't cross anyone the way you crossed people in this movie, but in those moments, it's not that I necessarily related to it, but it's like Meryl Streep said, the parts of your character you don't get when you finally understand them, that's when you crack the character. And I feel Josh Safdie, the director, was always in my head about, you don't judge this guy, and some of the comments towards Rachel or whatever. I have that great line at the end to Ram Sethi, the table tennis commissioner, where he says, where I come from, it's every man for himself, and that really does something to a person. That sounds so plain spoken, maybe not sophisticated in the setting I just said it in, but if you grew up like that, you know that to be true, Yeah.
Well, and again, and just as far as Josh Safdie goes, I mean, this was a real hat trick.